Good morning, everybody. Happy Saturday. This is the NCAA Hoops Hour, and I am the big man on campus. Hope you're having a great Saturday. As we embark on another big college hoops weekend, we are getting closer and closer to March Madness. And you know what we do here? We break down the card, have some fun, and try to beat the books, try to give you some great info that can maybe help you win games. And we'll go over many games, many as we can here. Happy to have you here. If you're new around here, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Make sure you don't ever miss a show. We do this every Saturday at 10 a.m. Eastern, and then during the week, 5 p.m. Eastern. So make sure you never miss a show. We'll have some conference tournament previews that are going to start to come out over the next few weeks. This is your source for college basketball info. I will have a conference preview on every tournament, all 32 of them. So make sure you join me every single day on this channel. Make sure you get the best in college basketball breakdowns. Also, one other thing to take care of as we embark on a big day. If you're looking for a book, obviously you want to make sure you have a couple different ones. Make sure you check out MyBookie, mybookie.ag. One of the best books out there right now. Easy payout options, real nice and sleek interface. I'm logged into MyBookie right now. You can deposit very easily, get a withdrawal very easily. Got some good lines, and you get a 50% bonus. All you got to do, BMOC in the promo code box when you open your account, and you'll get yourself a little bonus. So, again, guys, I gave out Tranmere today in England soccer. I bet that with MyBookie. Make sure you get MyBookie today. Use promo code BMOC and support the sponsors. Look, you like this show? You're getting info for free? Go check out MyBookie. All right, guys, let's get into it here. Also, hit the like button. Thank you to those guys for doing that. A couple people to shout out here. Very loyal people that are in here early. James, DMX, Carolus, John, Puppy, Mike, Jordan. Who else do we have? Alex, John, Shane, Andy, Mr. Coates, GPA, Shadow, David, KY Derek, Captain, AGN, Mitch, Brian, Thomas, Bobby, Lloyd, Bradley, Mike, Sandy, Nick, Marcos, what's up? Any thoughts on putting out a podcast? For what? I do this. What do you mean by that? What kind of podcast? I've done podcasts. I just prefer to use YouTube. It's just easier for me. It allows me to hit a big base, and I could be on camera, and it all goes to Twitter. It's very easy. Quick question. Any videos in the future with Flash on the England leagues? Love those shows. I'm going to try to work on it maybe next week. We'll see what we can do to make that happen. You guys, unfortunately, Flash works for SBR. And, again, I don't know why the content would matter where he does it. I'm going to see if I can make that work next week. We'll try to do that. We didn't have a show this week. We're going to try to get that next week. So I'll work on that, and I think I'll probably be able to make it happen. We'll have to see. All right, let's get into the show. We got games to talk about, and we don't have a lot of time to talk about them. We're going to start up at the 12 o'clock games, see if there's any value. I do think there is in some of these games. We'll take a shot here and see what we have. Marquette, Providence. You know, listen, I think anytime Marquette plays right now, I think it's a good bet. I think this team's really good. And, again, Providence, 12 o'clock. Marquette's got Villanova on deck. Could be a nice spot to grab Providence. But this team is seemingly so focused. The only team they really had trouble with this year has been St. John's. That's the only team Marquette's had trouble with. That's the only team Marquette has lost to since Thanksgiving. Before Thanksgiving, actually. November 21st was the last time Marquette lost to someone that wasn't St. John's. So they have continued to kind of just defy. And you look at the resume. I mean, Louisville, Kansas State, Wisconsin, Buffalo, Villanova. They beat them already once. And they've already beaten Villanova at home. But this time they got to go on the road, and that's going to be a tough game, and that's a look-ahead game here. But I think when you're a team like Marquette, where you're not that big name, you're not that team that constantly wins, and you don't have the Duke or Kentucky attached to you. You kind of just have to continue to grind the hell away. And Steve Wojciechowski is a terrific coach. They really had a nice spacing as far as their schedule. Played February 12th against DePaul. Played 8 days later, beat Butler by double digits. Have a few days off now to get Providence, and then they don't play again until Wednesday. So really no reason to think Marquette's going to come out and lay an egg. And why should they? They really don't do that. Whether it's on the road or at home, they have really taken care of business. And you look at Marquette, how they do it. I mean, really every way possible. I mean, this team is really good on defense, and that's a concern I have for Providence today. This team is not a good offensive team. They've continued all year to have offensive issues in conference. You look at how dependent they are on getting to the line. I mean, they're number one in the Big East as far as point distribution from the free throw line. So most of their points, over 23% of their points, are coming from the foul line. That's a large swath of the points they're getting. They're just not scoring a ton any other way. And I got to be honest, I think that's the only way they're going to score tonight. Because you look at Marquette, they're the number one 2-point defense in the league. This offense is as good as it gets. I had some concerns for Providence in this game. Both these teams really need to get to the line to create offense. But Marquette has other ways. They can hit a three. They're number one in the league in three-point percentage. You know, they're a terrific team as far as turning the ball over. So I think Marquette, could this be a toe stubbing? Sure. I mean, this is a great spot to do it in, but I've seen this team in issue spots before, and they haven't failed. So lean to Marquette here. I think they're the better team. Providence is a group that, I think they can stub people's toes, but, it's really just been St. John's. Everyone else is really taking care of Providence. St. John's, for whatever reason, just cannot beat Providence. So kind of like that one early on. Virginia, Louisville. Listen, I mean, if you want to bet against Virginia, go ahead. I'm not really someone that wants to do that. I think this number is getting a bit high, and this is a road game, and Louisville is really, really good. I think Chris Mack's terrific, but I'm just not really seeing a spot where I feel like Louisville is the right play here. Obviously Virginia not only this year can score, they as always defend. I mean, we know that. I don't know. I'm not really looking to bet against Virginia. I got to wonder where Louisville's head is. I mean, really. After that Duke game, I feel like those are kind of the games that really turn your season to where you don't want it to turn. I mean, you got to realize with a new, that's tough. I mean, you lose a game like that against the best team in the country. You were up big. You blew it. It was one of the worst blown leads you'll see this year, and probably the worst, actually. And you look at Louisville. I mean, at what point do we start to say to ourselves at Louisville, maybe they're just not as good as, they're not on that really good level. And I don't know if they are. They've lost to North Carolina, they lost to Florida State, lost to Duke, and they've lost to Syracuse. They did beat North Carolina once, which is a solid win. But you beat Virginia Tech without Justin Robinson. Okay, cool. I mean, listen, to me, Louisville's got to show me something here. Because they've not really looked the same after that Duke loss. And frankly, they haven't really looked the same anytime they've stepped up. I mean, who have they really beaten? I guess Michigan State's a good win. But in conference, their only win was that blowout win at North Carolina. And let's be honest, guys. I mean, North Carolina didn't play well in that game. I got to feel like I think they continue to have issues here. I mean, this is obviously not the game you want to play right after Syracuse, another real tough defense. You're not playing well as it is. Virginia will exploit your issues. What's up, Shun Childress? What else? Who else do we have here? We got a lot of people here. Thanks for watching. Appreciate you all checking me out today. And it means something that you all do it. What's up, Troy V? Marcamoose. What's up? A lot of people wanting the shows with Flash. We'll see what we can do to make that happen. What type of game does Louisville have to play to beat UVA? Pretty much a perfect game. It's that simple. Texas, Oklahoma. It's a game I have some interest in, but again, you look at this number, it's being bet up. Public likes Oklahoma here, and why shouldn't they? I mean, they're at home. Oklahoma really needs the game, and Kerwin Roach isn't playing for Texas, and that's a huge loss. I mean, Texas is not a good offensive team as it is. They just aren't. It's not something they really, they're a grinded out defensive type team, slower tempoed. I mean, Kerwin Roach scores 15 points a game. They only score 72 points a game. That's a lot of points to take out of your lineup. A guy that rebounds and just does a lot of things for them. That's a loss. That's a real big loss. And now you ask yourself, who do you go to for scoring? I guess it's Jackson Hayes. Matt Coleman, not exactly an offensive stalwart. They don't have a real talented bench. They have players, but they're not really that talented from a scoring perspective. And listen, you're playing an Oklahoma team that, look, I know is not particularly been good, particularly in the Big 12, but this defense continues to be really solid. I think this is a low-scoring game. I'll make that clear. But you look at Oklahoma, I mean, they've been pretty efficient defensively. They've been real solid. That's what I'll tell you. They've been real solid. But this number's gotten up to 5. I mean, you have a lot of – the whole world's on Oklahoma here. I mean, you can get a 5 at Pinnacle right now. 5 minus 103. Crazy. I mean, Oklahoma has to have this game. If Oklahoma lose, they're going to be on the outside. You lose to Texas without their best player. That's a bad loss. Not a bad loss, but it's not a good outcome. You need to win this game. Oklahoma has to continue to win these kind of games. So the games against Iowa State and Kansas, those mean something. Oklahoma has some work to do. They're not a guarantee in the tournament. They're a last 4 bye team. That doesn't mean they're in. They need to keep winning. And there's a reason why Oklahoma's on the bubble. They've not been good in this conference. Luckily, they're getting this game at home. But you look at their last 4 home games in this conference, they've lost. Lost to Kansas State by 13. Lost to Baylor by 30. Lost to Iowa State by 1. And lost to Texas Tech by double digits. So 3 of their last 4 losses at home have been by double digits. It's time to get focused if you're Oklahoma. You can't keep fucking around here. Nice win off TCU without NY. Good win there. But you got to keep it going here. And, it's a tough spot in the schedule for Oklahoma. You got Texas at home. Then you got to go on the road up to Ames on Monday. That's a tough spot for Oklahoma. Off Texas, up to Ames. Keep your eye on that one, people. I like Oklahoma, but I like them a lot better at 3. 5 is starting to get out of control. I'm not really taking questions. I'm just trying to go through games that are really good and look solid. We'll kind of keep it to that right now. What else do we have here? Tennessee, LSU. Interesting game here at noon as well. Tennessee laying 2, total 154. Look, I've talked and said my piece on Tennessee. I think they have issues. I think there are spots for them that I don't like. But you look at both these offenses, really solid, really good. I don't like LSU's defense, though. I don't think they're that good. They have a good front court, but this team has struggled to get stops. You look at 2-point defense. I mean, they're not playing well at all. They allow a lot of dribble drives. They're just not a particularly good defense. And this is a Tennessee team that's obviously really good in the half court, really efficient. You got to figure they got beat up by Kentucky. It's a big stage, big game. They got to, Grant Williams, Schofield. Those guys got to take care of business down low, and I think they can. I mean, this LSU offense defense is not particularly good. Both these teams rebound the ball well. Should be a fun game to watch from that perspective. I don't know. I think there's a lot of things here that lean me on Tennessee. I mean, they're an experienced team. They rebound well. They play better defense than LSU. They're off kind of a bad public performance. Doesn't matter that they beat Vandy over the week, which, let's be honest, wasn't really a great win because they didn't look good in that game. But the last thought we have at Tennessee is they got blown out by Kentucky. This is a chance to right the ship in LSU. And I think they can, because I think they're better than LSU. They just are. If you can shut down and not allow them to get to the line and just shoot you in the head that way, because that's what LSU does. I mean, they're all about getting to the line, creating on dribble drives, and if they can't do that, their offense is not as effective as I think they think it can be. And they don't play particularly good defense. You look at in conference, LSU guys, number 1 in getting to the line. Tennessee does a real nice job at not putting you on the line. Good job defending without fouling. And you look at how bad defensively this LSU team is. Effective field goal percentage defense, 13th in the SEC. They're also 14th in two-point defense. That's dead last. So Tennessee should have a lot of success in this game scoring. This would be a real nice follow-up after the loss to Kentucky, the big games. Look, I don't care that you beat Vandy. Me and 6 listeners can beat Vandy. 5 and a bench guy. Vandy stinks. It's that simple. Tennessee, the lasting memory we have is, they got fucking punted by Kentucky. Nice chance to right the ship on the road against a good team. But on the other hand, LSU, it's a great spot for them. I think Tennessee gets the job done here. Couple of comments here. Again, we thank all of you for watching. Tennessee's more experienced. Yes, that's important. One of the most experienced teams in the country. Doesn't LSU rebound quite a bit better than Tennessee? No. Both of them rebound very well. Listen, guys, if you're new around here, if I give a game out and I give something for the game, that's all I like. If I like it over, I'll tell you. You don't have to ask. Your comment's just going to get lost. We got a lot of people here. I just give you my candid opinion on the game, whether it's a side, a total, whatever. Comic Ricky, welcome in. Let's keep it moving here. We'll try to get through as many games as we can. Tulsa University at Temple. We remember what happened a couple weeks ago. Temple University went down to Tulsa and got beat up. They blamed a plane issue on the poor performance. Listen, this is the last time. Temple really can't lose another bad game. And for as good as Frank Hayes' team's been, as sneaky as they've been, losing to them is not particularly good for Temple. At home, you really can't lose to them. To me, to get into the tournament, Temple's got to beat UCF in the last game of the season. Got to go down and beat Memphis. You got to take care of business here. And again, we've talked about Temple. I'm not looking to lay 7 or more points with Temple. Just not. We look at what Tulsa wants to do, and I think it suits them. I think the way Temple plays defense, it just suits them. Tulsa doesn't shoot threes. That's not really the way they create offense. They create offense by getting to the line. They get into the lane. They get fouled. They want to shoot a ton of free throws. And this conference, that suits them because refs in the AAC are poor. They're very foul reliant. They call a lot of fouls. And you look at Temple University, they foul a lot. They put you on the line. They're not a good two-point defense. Why they aren't a two-point defense? Because their bigs aren't good enough. They do have long guards, and by having long guards, what that allows you to do is play defense a little bit more packed in. Your long guards can guard that three-point line, but Tulsa doesn't really create from the three-point line. It's not really one of their go-to means of offense. If you look at this game, to me, both offenses will have some success here. We have a total in 145.5. I would lean over. I think both these teams can score. Tulsa will be effective. Temple has just figured out how to shoot the three. I mean, this team's shooting 37% in conference as a team. They're another good group at the line. They get to the line a lot. But Tulsa's just a tough matchup for Temple. If I'm looking at this game, I'm taking the points. I'm taking a 7 here. Does Temple win? Yeah, sure. But for Temple this year, it really hasn't been how many they win by. We have to find ways to win games. You look at the game in South Florida last week, had a week off, went out game by 1. Beat up SMU, but you didn't kill them. Beat them by 8. Game was pretty close. Struggled with Tulane. Struggled with Memphis. I was at that Memphis game. It was a struggle. They went up big as they usually do. Temple blew it up in the second half. The game was a lot closer. It was at 3 at one point. I had Memphis in that game, if we remember. I had them +5. They lost by 8. I remember I was there. Temple they have to keep winning. But right now for Temple, the problem is we just have to keep winning. It's not, we got to win and win by 7 or more. They're just trying to scrap wins together now. And Tulsa gives you max effort every time. They're well coached. Tulsa stinks. Didn't they just go to OT versus the EC? Who cares? It's one game. Tulsa doesn't stink. They're very They're very, very sneaky. That's not a good take. Tulsa doesn't stink. So you went to ECU scrappy too. Give it to that group. They're scrappy. You're going to get a good game from these teams, these bad teams. Tulane's really bad. But I think ECU's scrappy. I don't think Tulsa stinks because they had one. That's a bad take. Just because they had one bad game doesn't mean they stink. I think they're a scrappy group. Do I think Tulsa can pull it off? No. I just went through 5 straight minutes on how I do think Tulsa can pull it off. Guys, listen, come on. We've got a lot of things going on here today. We can't go back and repeat here. I watched the last one. Tulsa looked like a bigger, better team. They did. But this is a change of venue. Temple has to have it. But I know this team pretty well, and they don't really ever blow teams like this out. So I'd be surprised if they did. Let's keep it moving. We're trying to go through as many games as we can here. I'm just kind of going all over the place here. Iowa State, TCU. Iowa State 1.5, total 148.5. Iowa State's in revenge here. Already lost to TCU. Big revenge game. Listen, I've talked about it and had a good read on Texas Christian. I'm not in love with this offense. I don't like the way they create offense. They're real reliant on getting to the line. They don't really do anything else that well. You look at 4th in the Big 12. They have to get to the line. It's very important to this group. And look, Iowa State's a pretty damn good defense. They're number 1 in the Big 12 in foul rate. They don't put you on the line. They're another team that just I think is a bad matchup for TCU. Kawat and Y, they say he's going to play today. I don't know how effective he's going to be. It's his first game back from injury. Obviously, it'll help TCU having him in there, but I think Iowa State's really talented. I think they get some revenge here today down at TCU. Jamie Dixon's crew has lost 3 in a row. They've lost 5 of 7. They're not playing well. Big-time revenge spot for the Cyclones here. Mariel Shack's terrific. Best player in the league, if you ask me. Big man, you should do a live show from Temple. Listen, I'll gladly do it. The problem is Temple would rather have like some random radio guy from Philly there that nobody listens to. They'd rather have someone like that. Unfortunately, a lot of the universities, they're not going to have someone that does gambling around. It's just, when I go to Temple, I kind of just have to move like a regular person. I could never do a show from Temple. The universities, they don't want gambling around. They don't want it around the teams. They don't want it around the kids. So you kind of just have to – that would never happen. I would love to, but that wouldn't happen. Unless, gambling becomes really mainstream and it's just another thing. But even if that happens, I still find it unlikely that it'll purvey into, some of the universities and stuff. Where else do we want to go here? I could talk about so much. Wofford and Furman. That's a good game. Listen, I think Wofford's the best team in this conference. I really do. I think they're terrific. I love Fletcher McGee. I love Cameron Jackson, Storm Murphy. I love this. I love this team. I think they're terrific. They're undefeated in conference. And let me tell you something. That means something. It means something to not lose a game in conference. They're 15-1 at home this year. They're 8-3 on the road. This team is just taking care of business wherever they go. And they got 3 games left. One against Samford, one against Chattanooga, and today against Furman. Listen, they didn't just beat UNCG the other night. They fucking murdered them. Just destroyed them. And if this team hasn't shown you they're ready to go on the road and win, they're ready to go on the road and beat good teams, listen, I like Furman. They're solid. They beat Villanova months ago. Who cares? They're playing well. They've won 6 in a row. And let's be honest, they actually gave Wofford a pretty good game the first time. But, I'm not ready to step in front of Wofford. I'm not ready to pick that sharp spot and take Furman here. Just not. Not ready to do it. Wofford's real good. They're a team that it wouldn't surprise me if they run to the Elite Eight. They're one of those random teams that do that. Be that Loyola Chicago. Wouldn't surprise me at all. They're really good. Fletcher McGee's an NBA player. Charles, thanks for watching. Appreciate it. Why is Wofford good? Because they do everything well. I mean, why are they good? I mean, they play basketball and they haven't lost since December 19th to an SEC team. Their losses this year are North Carolina, Oklahoma, Kansas, and Mississippi State. What do you mean, why are they good? I don't know. They're good because they play basketball well. They're number one in all their offensive metrics in this conference. They're a terrific defensive team. They rebound the ball at a high level. They turn you over on defense. They don't turn it over on offense. They're number one in block and steal percentage. They have a player that is one of the best shooters in the country. They have pieces on the side that can get them scoring and defend. They're not relying on getting to the line. They can create offense in the half court. Anything else? Do you need any other reason? Yeah, exactly, Mikey. Do you need any other reasons on why they're good, Commodore? I'll tell you who's not good, and that's Vanderbilt, the Commodores. Your team. Don't tell me what to do, Jay. I'll take as much time as I want on these games. A big men on campus betcast from noon to midnight. That'd be tough. I think I could do it, though. I think I could do it. That'd be tough, though. What else do we want to talk about here? What else do we want to talk about? So many games, so little time. Western Kentucky headed on the road to take on Old Dominion. A little bonus play. That's what they're calling this. Bonus play in Conference USA, which I don't really understand, but whatever. West Kentucky. I had them the last time these two teams played. I had them plus 3.5. They lost by 3. And you'll probably say to yourself, well, good job, big man. You got a close win there. Not really. They were up 21-0 to start the game. Yes, you heard that correct. West Kentucky was up 21-0 in the first game against Old Dominion and lost. So you're probably saying to yourself, okay, well, do you really want to back them here? They seem like a team that blows leads. You'd be correct. They do. But they don't anymore, and they haven't. They've actually played really well. This West Kentucky team has been in my card many times this year, had them in different games. And they've made me more money than lost money this year. This Hilltopper team has been a long odyssey with them. They're a team that has really picked it up on the defensive end. They're one of the best defenses in this conference. And I think they have some big revenge in this game. I think they took the Old Dominion loss personally the first time. They had no business losing it. I think they have a lot of matchup advantages that they should be able to exploit. This Old Dominion team is really solid, but they're really way too reliant on Caver and Stith. I don't know who guards Charles Bassey. And to be honest, I think this West Kentucky team right now with Lamonte Bearden playing at a high level, I love what they have going on. I'm sure people will point out, but big man, they just lost to UAB. You're right. They didn't shoot the ball particularly well. It was one of those games. You can't win every game if you're West Kentucky. But this West Kentucky team rebounds well. They play great defense. In fact, they play better defense than Old Dominion. Old Dominion's defense has faltered a bit in conference play. It hasn't been particularly great. And they really struggle to create offense. They're 13th in the Conference USA from two-point range. What that says to me is they really struggle in half court. I don't know who guards Bassey. I really don't. I think Bassey's just a matchup nightmare. You look at this kid, the freshman. I mean, how good is Charles Bassey? Off a 23-point effort down at UAB, he's eclipsed 20 points a lot this year. Dropped 32 against Marshall a couple weeks ago. Really good player. Going to play at the next level. You better believe that. The kid from Nigeria, going to play at the next level. Really good player. You're not getting the best of his line, though, which hurts. Christopher Rees. West Kentucky's a dumpster fire. Listen, all your comments have been dumpster fires, brother. So if anybody knows about dumpster fires, it's you. Your comments have just been really bad. Really bad. It's time for you to get a clue. Clearly, you're still searching for one. Really poor clue. Really poor. Now he's saying Kentucky's going to beat Auburn by 20. I mean, how bad is this guy's comments? Christopher Rees wins the worst comments of the day comment here on the show. So let's everyone give him a hand. Thank you, Christopher. Comments that did not at all benefit this show. And it actually made us all dumber listening to them. First there was Spygate. Then there was Deflategate. Now there's Ejaculate. I bet you're waiting all day to give us that one, Dan Kelly. Not really your best work. Listen, we can make jokes about Robert Kraft, and while it is funny, a lot of people aren't talking about the girls that were there. Really sad, if you ask me. The human trafficking stuff is really sad. We are quick to laugh about Kraft and his hijinks there, but that's sad. BMOC wants to lose viewers. Well, if you're watching, I hope you go away. But again, as you say that, I just keep getting more listeners. So, Alejandro, you're a troll. I know that. So you can go away, and you don't have to watch, and you will be a lost viewer. But I've already gotten the views, so see you later. I've had that guy. He's one of those troll profiles. But let's get back to the games here. What I'll do now is I'll take some questions. If you have a game you want me to take a look at, please let me know. Again, I'm sure we'll get tons of requests here, but listen, I can't go over every game. I'll try to get to as many of them as I can. We'll just do kind of a off the cusp. Yeah, Teddy B's a bum. I mean, that guy is just a bum. I mean, he just is. He tries so hard to be somebody when he's just not. I mean, nobody cares about his opinion. He's just a bum. You know? He needs clout. That's Teddy B. Teddy B's middle name is Clout Chaser B. Teddy Clout Chaser B. That's what his name is. And he achieves it because we talk about him, which is a waste of time. Did I go over the Marquette game? Yes, it was the first game we talked about. Towson State looked great against Hofstra. Yeah, but I don't think long term that's who they are. So I wouldn't get too into that performance. Thank you, MC Coach. Appreciate it. Yes, it is, Brian. All right, we'll wait for some games to come in here, and then we'll take a look. Why the shots, man? I thought we passed all that BS. Well, yeah, but then you come in here and say, what kind of show is this shit? LOL. So we went back to that shit. Because he's an annoying. We just got to block him. All right, let's get to some things here. Delaware State, Maryland Eastern Shore. You shouldn't be betting those games. Those are the two worst teams in the country. I'm not sure why you'd have interest in betting that game. Vermont and Binghamton. That's a good one. Vermont's obviously off a loss, but let's be honest, guys. I mean, does Vermont stink? No. I mean, they just can't beat UMBC. UMBC's been their kryptonite. You look at the first game against Binghamton, beat it by 28. They're off a loss. I mean, I got to be honest. I think Binghamton gets walloped today. I mean, I know they're at home and everything, but this is, I think, a pissed-off Vermont team. And Binghamton's pretty bad. I mean, Binghamton doesn't do anything well. Bad defensively, pretty bad offensively. Really don't do much to worry you. Bad rebounding team. I mean, actually, they're a really bad rebounding team. I mean, Vermont should win, and I think they roll. This is kind of like the Kansas game last week. Great spot, in revenge. I think they off a bad loss. I think they crush Binghamton. Hofstra's been making you a lot of money. They didn't make you a lot of money last week. They haven't played well over the last 2 weeks or so. I wouldn't really get involved with them right now. I think they're just getting ready to get to the conference tournaments and stuff. Does Maryland win today? I don't know. I mean, they should. They should win pretty easily. But I don't know. Ohio State just keeps I don't know. They're pretty scrappy. But I think for the most part, Ohio State has really failed against top-tier teams. And, again, they lost by 14 in the first game. So, yeah, I mean, on the road, I don't think there's any reason that Maryland should lose. No, Maryland should win by double digits. So, no, I don't. I think they'll definitely win. My thoughts on spring training. Smoking Coke and's breaking it down. Look, I don't understand betting spring training, but if Dave has an angle, well, then that's good for him. FSU UNC. Yeah, a lot of people are asking about that one. I would lean FSU here. I really would. I think this is just a few too many points. UNC's obviously coming off that big win against Duke. This is tough, kind of rebound. First game back. Trent Forrest is really good. They have a good steal rate, this group. And Kobe White has been a bit turnover prone. It's just that simple with him. Anytime I can get this amount of points with Florida State, I'm interested. I think they're a pretty dangerous team, and one of the reasons I bet them a long time ago in the futures market. They're deep. They always find ways to make runs because they're deep. They can play 7, 8, 9, 10 guys. They can space the floor with their length. Cabangeli is really good. Big kid. Can really kind of space the floor, get to the paint. Good player. Really good team. I like Florida State. Hampton, Radford. That's a great game, actually. Hampton, a team that just came over to the Big South after playing for many years in the MEAC. This Hampton team, though, unfortunately, Buck Joyner's group is not playing well right now. They've lost 5 of 6, including an overtime loss up at home against Radford. Now they're going to go on the road. I think Radford's the best team in this conference. They're really good. I think Radford win by double digits here. I just don't like where Hampton is right now. Radford's really good on offense. I don't love Hampton on defense. Hampton's a solid group. They're just not playing well right now. And Radford is really getting it going from Jones and Polite and Travis Fields. You look at what Radford wants to do on offense, and maybe Hampton could stay in the game because Hampton has been a pretty good half-court defense, and Radford does play slow. I mean, that's one of the Radford issues. They do play slow. You almost want to speed it up a bit against Hampton, kind of get in transition when you can. And maybe Hampton comes calling today. You look at this line. I mean, do I think Radford win? Yeah, sure. I think they win. They're at home. Shouldn't be any reason they don't win. But, this line is a bit high. Where is this game? I want to say this is like 8, I think. There it is. 8.5. That's pretty high. I lean Hampton here. I really do. I think there's some things that they can do in this game that will bother Radford. They're not playing well, but that doesn't mean they can't they can't kind of flip a switch against the best team in the conference. Problem is the lines move down. If you could have got the original 9 or 10 or like a 9.5, that'd be great. You're getting the best number. But 8.5 still has some value here, I think. Did I break down Norfolk State and Morgan State? No, I haven't. But I will. I've talked about Norfolk State. I think they're the best team in the MEAC, and Morgan State is just a bad matchup for Norfolk. Norfolk has one loss in this conference, and it was without their best player. He was suspended for the game. So, it goes to show you how good they are. They're really efficient on offense, something that's pretty unheard of in this conference. Generally in the MEAC, you don't get a lot of really good offensive teams, but this Norfolk State team is really good from the offensive standpoint. They're facing a Morgan State team that just cannot defend. They're a shocking defense. And no offense to Morgan and everything, but they're not very good on offense either. Morgan really just doesn't do anything well. They're not playing well either. They've lost 4 in a row and 6 of 7. Every time they step up in competition, they lose. Every time. North Carolina A&T, lose. North Carolina Central, lose. Florida A&M, lose. Savannah State, lose. Did beat Bethune-Cookman. Nice win there. Beat Howard in overtime. I've talked about Howard. I'm not a big Howard fan. Yeah, this line is at 2. Not really sure why. I'd be okay betting it at 4.5, to be honest. If I had to. Like, I would literally, if you said to me, hey, listen, you can bet this at 4.5 and get 240 back, plus 240 or something, I'd be all in. South Florida, Houston. Houston laying 12. Total here is 133 or 132. Really depends where you look. I actually took Houston the last time these two teams played. Got a cover down in Houston. But this South Florida team's scrappy. I don't think anyone will disagree with that. You look at Houston, just that one blemish at Temple. That's really just kind of Temple's bell cow win. What a great win that was. What a great game it was. I remember watching it live. It was terrific. South Florida, I think, has been a darling because they've been good against the spread, but they really struggle to create offense. They are so dependent on getting to the line. So dependent. And the problem is in this conference is there are a lot of ability to get to the line. These refs are not good. And Houston's not great at not fouling. They foul at a pretty high rate, 8th in the conference. They're 205 in the country. While they're a good defense, they are a little handsy, as they say. There'll be a lot of free throws in this game, but I can't bet on South Florida because I don't trust this group enough to make their free throws. That's the problem with South Florida. They're so reliant on getting to the line, but when they get to the line, they don't make the free throws. They're shooting 64% from the line this year in conference. You look at on the season, they're shooting 63.4%. 63.4% from the line is 16 from the bottom in the country. That's how bad they've been. You know, Houston at home here. First game they beat them by 9. I think they were laying 6.5 or 5.5. It was a nice cover. Really played well late. Made their free throws. South Florida just didn't make their free throws. You look at it against subpar competition though. East Carolina beat them by 44. But that's really it. I mean, beat Tulane big as well. But against these kind of middling teams, they've played pretty well. These middling teams against Wichita lost by 9, beat SMU by 11. Beat South Florida by 9. Beat Temple by 7. Beat Cincinnati by 7. Beat UConn by 8 without Jalen Adams. I just can't bring myself to bet on South Florida. I know people love them and whatever, but I can't do it. This would be this would be a slow-paced game. Both these teams want to defend in the half court. They want to go pretty slow. I just don't trust South Florida to make their free throws. That's the way they can stay in this game. And if they were 74% from the line, they would cover even more. What's up, Jeff Cook? Thanks for watching. What else do we have here? Do I think Kentucky will cover today? I don't know. I think 7's a pretty good number in that game. I don't think there's a ton of value in that one. Yeah, settle down, Jay. Jay, I got to tell you about Jay. This guy Jay in the section here. Jay is Jay's been on all my shows for many years, like a long time. Really good commenter. But he literally asks about thousands of games. It's amazing. He's a very good commenter, but he asks about a ton of games. It's just so hard to get to all of them. Big Man, when you're doing these videos, what websites do you open to get stats from? To be honest, and I'm really being serious here, I have one website open. I don't have anything in front of me. This is totally off the top of my head. I have no paper here. You see these notes here? They're from 221. See that? 221. I don't have any notes in front of me at all. If I could show you my camera, I would. I don't have any notes in front of me. This is at the top of my head. I do have one website open that lets me reference stats and stuff, but most of this schematic stuff is really just off the top of my head. What do we got here? Virginia Tech, Notre Dame. I don't have much interest in Virginia Tech without Justin Robinson. I just think he's such a tough guy to not have in your lineup. When you look at overall, I mean, this team has struggled without him. They put up 47 points against North Carolina State, lost to Louisville, Clemson, Virginia, did beat Georgia Tech and Pittsburgh. They should be able to get the job done here today. Notre Dame's not good either. They're kind of in that Georgia Tech, Pittsburgh range. And Notre Dame has their own amount of injuries right now. I mean, they're still without certain players for that group. So, yeah, I lean Virginia Tech, but it's not one that I'm running to bet on. I don't love that group right now, Virginia Tech, without Justin Robinson. People are asking about VCU, George Washington. It's hard for VCU to cover these big numbers. It just is. They're going to have to turn GW over a lot today. But they've really looked solid, VCU. Really solid. They've had some big-time wins lately. And the tempo is actually a bit better than you might think. But VCU slows you down on offense, really makes you work for shots. And that's something that could cut into your cover in this game. There's a lot of points to lay, in conference. VCU's got an important game at the week against St. Louis. So, I don't know. I'd play VCU if I had to, but I wouldn't be running to the window to bet on it. Tranmere 0-0 at half. So we need a goal there up at Tranmere, up at Liverpool. They've owned possession. I've actually had some good shots on target. Looks like they're controlling the game. Just need to find a goal, which there's plenty of time left to do that. So we'll hope that they find a way to score here, which I think they will. If you're playing along at home. Let's keep it moving here. We got about we'll be on for about 15 more minutes here, guys. I really need your breakdown. Chattanooga plus the points versus Mercer. Two teams kind of in the middle of the road. Don't really have much on that game. Chattanooga's not good though. I won't try to say they are. You do a great job. Thank you, Mike. Appreciate that. Yes, raw and unscripted. I live on the edge, as Dino's saying. Great point, Dino. I didn't realize UT Rio Grande Valley had such a good ATS record. Yeah, they're terrific against the number. That's a great point by Lloyd there. UT Rio Grande Valley has been real good against the spread. One of the better teams in the country. They got a big game tonight at New Mexico State. And look, I mean, if we know anything about the New Mexico State Aggies, they're as good as it gets. Rio Grande Valley actually played real well in the first game. Lost by 2. Terry Wynn was terrific in that game. And look, to be real, guys, New Mexico State missed 10 free throws. That ain't going to happen again at home here. I mean, you look at how Rio Grande scores. I mean, they just kind of speed it up. Play pretty good defense. I don't know. I got a feeling it ends tonight for Rio Grande Valley, but yeah, at that ATS record, I'm not looking to fade. South Dakota State. If you remember last year, South Dakota lost to South Dakota State in the conference championship game. South Dakota stinks. It's that simple. This ain't that big a rivalry. I know it is from a state perspective, but South Dakota should get crushed in this game. South Dakota's bad. No Craig Smith as coach. Matt Moody's gone. No, I'm not interested. Thank you, Shadow. Thanks for watching, buddy. Do I think Kansas money line is safe against Texas Tech? No, not at all. I like Texas Tech. Really like them. I think they're starting to play some pretty good basketball, frankly. Not starting. They always will. But, Big Man, did you come on yesterday? No, I didn't come on yesterday. I put that out that I wouldn't be on yesterday. I had some family stuff I was doing. I'll throw a free player or two out at the end. Favorite of the day. All right, what else do we have here? People asking about Duke tonight against Syracuse. Obviously, there's a lot going on in this game. Zion Williamson's out. Jim Boeheim is obviously had a tough week. I got to tell you, though, I think the community really rallies around him tonight. I think that'll be a terrific atmosphere up at Carrier Dome. And, I got to tell you, I don't like this matchup for Duke in this game. I really don't. I got some real questions about it. I don't think Duke can shoot. I just don't. We saw the first game what happened. Duke can't shoot. Duke is not a good shooting team at all. I mean, they're poor, frankly. I like the Syracuse team defensively because they are big. They're a big team. Long guards, real solid from that area. Duke's really effective around the rim. They like to get to the paint, dribble drives. Without Zion Williamson, it's just they just lose a ton. You look at what they lose without Zion Williamson, and I read an article. It was really well written about Zion Williamson and how much he's worth to the spread. I think he's probably in a game like this worth 6 points to the number or something like that. You look at Duke, like advanced stats. Zion has the highest player efficiency rating over the last 10 years. His player efficiency rating is 41.9. Okay, so over the last 10 years, no one's had a higher PER than Zion Williamson. You look at the next closest was Kelly Olynyk many years ago. He had a 34.2, which goes to show you how good Kelly Olynyk was. But losing Zion Williamson is a disaster, really. And we saw what they were without him. They're just not good. Duke shoots 50% as a team. Without him, they shoot 42%. I mean, the player efficiency rating is sick. 41.9? That's amazing. You look at against zones this year. Duke, 0.86 points per possession. Not good at all. Frankly, that's very bad. Like, it's not a good matchup here. It just isn't. Plus, it's on the road in what should be a pretty poignant atmosphere, a pretty supportive atmosphere. Listen, I've never got, obviously, thank God, I've never been involved in something like Jim's been involved in. It's got to be tough for him, you know? It's an accident. Things can happen like that. It's just a real sad accident. If I know the Syracuse crowd the way I think I do, I think they're going to be real supportive tonight. This would be a great atmosphere. Carrier Dome's terrific. It's going to be tough. It's going to be a great game to watch. Should be a fun one. You're going to the San Francisco game tonight. Have a good time. They need to win. Need to keep winning. Thank you, Denny. Should Clemson be laying 11 against BC? No, they shouldn't. They're on the bubble, though. That doesn't mean they'll cover, though. I agree. I don't think they should be laying 11. Wonder how many people from SBR watch to get info. All of them. I guarantee they're all watching right now. I should copyright my info. My info's getting copyrighted. All right, guys, we'll stay on for another few minutes here. We'll get some extra time today. Samford University. Good ATS team, but I like them as a dog. Not really into them. I'm not really into betting them as a favorite. Just not really something I'm into. Citadel stinks. Citadel's another joke of a team. Watching this team try to defend is laughable. Just a heinous defensive team every year. Samford would be an interesting team in the SoCo tournament. I think they can maybe knock someone out. Pretty good offense. Josh Sharkey, really good. I'd imagine this game's high scoring. Both these teams really good pace-wise. Should be a fun game to watch. We'll do one more preview, and then I'll give a free player or two here. It's nice not having the game starting right away, you know? I kind of like that. I'm going to go real deep for the last breakdown here. A team that I have some real fond memories of. If you watched my show last year, I did a conference tournament preview for every conference, and one of the conferences that I previewed was actually I did all of them, but it was the Northeastern Conference, and I picked LIU Brooklyn to win this conference at 10-1. It was the best prediction, and it was fun. It was one of those things where when you hit a conference tournament future like that, it feels real good, because you called it. No one else called it. You called it. Let's take a look at LIU Brooklyn at San Francisco, PA. The Red Flash against the Blackbirds. Two good mascots here. The Blackbirds, Red Flash. This total is at 155.5. And I got to tell you, I think the game goes over the number. LIU Brooklyn is a pretty poor three-point defense. They struggle a lot in transition. They go real fast. The problem is they're not really good defensively. Give up a lot of threes. Both these offenses have a lot of success. You look at LIU Brooklyn, most of their offense comes from in the paint. They have a kid named Raekwon Clark, terrific player. Jay Sean Augusto, Julian Batts. LIU Brooklyn's coach is Derek Kellogg. He used to be at UMass. Got the slick back hair. Sorry, guys, with the mic. He's really dependent on getting into the lane. That's kind of how his offenses play. He did it up at UMass. And it should be a pretty high-scoring game. Both offenses should have some success. I think you see a lot of running in this game. Both these teams real good pace-wise, 51 and 90th in the country possession length-wise. They're number 1 and 3 possession length teams in the NEC. And both should have a lot of success offensively, both good from the line. I think we see an 82-75 type of game, something like that, 84-80. I think we see a game that gets into the 160s. We only need 156 here. Total's 155.5. I think this game goes over the number. Kind of an interesting game. UL Monroe, Texas Arlington. I'm really only interested in UL Monroe from a dog standpoint. It's just my opinion. Exactly, Cody. Thank you. Cody sees what goes on here. Let me just point this out. I have 3,000 subscribers. SBR has 53,000. And I get just as many, if not more, views in some of their shows. It's all about info, people. It's that simple. People want good game breakdowns. All right, guys, let's wrap it up. You all have a great day. We will give out a few free plays here. And listen, I'm not going to tell you I don't kind of like Tulsa today. Tulsa looks solid, plus the points against Temple. But that's not going to be my play of the day. My free play of the day is the Aztecs of San Diego State. Yes, that's correct. The Aztecs of San Diego State. I really like the way this team is playing right now. And I've talked about it. UNLV fucking stinks. It's that simple. I don't give a shit that Sharps are on UNLV. I don't care. It doesn't mean nothing to me. I really like what I'm seeing out of San Diego State. I know a lot of people say, well, it's probably a letdown game. I don't think so. I don't think it is. I like what I'm seeing out of SDSU. I just am. It's a field play for me. UNLV, I just don't think is the same team without Shakir Houston. And I'm not looking at this team and saying, wow, you won 3 in a row. Who the fuck you beat? Wyoming, San Jose, and Air Force. Big fucking deal. Has this team beat anyone we're talking about in conference? Well, I'll answer that for you. No, they haven't. They lost to San Diego State 94-77. They lost to Nevada 87-70. I was on Nevada in that game. They lost to Utah State by 17, and they lost to Fresno State by 18. They've lost every game against big boys in this conference by 15 or more. Why does UNLV get this respect? Like, I don't get it. This team stinks. They're coached by a complete dope. Marvin Menzies, I just think's in over his head here. I don't think he's suited to coach a team like UNLV. He should have stayed where he was. I thought he was pretty effective at a team like New Mexico State. But I just don't really understand why I'd be wanting to back. When does UNLV ever come to play in games they should? I'll give you the answer. They don't. Yeah, I'm going to go with San Diego State here. Everyone have a great day. Thanks for watching. All sorts of great info here today. We were over a ton of games. It was fun as always. Thanks, Matt. Appreciate it. Thoughts on Washington? I love them. I think they're the best team in the Pac-12. It's not close. Rizard Fields, thanks for watching. Jordan, Matt, Dino, Jeff, Comic Ricky, Bookie Mike, thanks. BitXN, thanks for watching. You like UNLV. How do you like UNLV? Explain why you like UNLV. Thanks, Jordan. Take it easy, Jar Jar. Thank you, Donnie. Appreciate that. All right, I want to wait here. I want to see what BitXN likes here. I want to see why he likes UNLV. Because I want to see what he's thinking here. Thank you, Bradley. Take it easy. Settle down, best gambler. Ashley Wynn just got here late. You're going to have to watch the show back. We went over a lot of different games. Sorry to hit every game. Can't hit all of them. Thanks, David. Take it easy. Larry or Leroy Flood, thanks for watching. Thank you, Michael. Quickly, while we wait for his BitXN Baylor. Wait, Baylor's -1? No, they're not. They're playing West Virginia. They're not -1. They're -12. I mean, I'm not really looking to lay double digits in that one. Sorry. All right, we're not seeing any breakdown from him, so we'll rock it up here. Arnie Taylor, first time watching your show. Thank you, Arnie. Yeah, we watch every day. We're on during the weekend. We'll be on tomorrow, 12:30. Make sure you check out the show. We'll go over the card. Thanks for watching, Arnie. Appreciate it. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks, Austin. Appreciate it. I don't do lock of the days. I just give you a play that I like. No play is a lock. That's not a good way to talk. Thanks, Kevin. Thank you, Joe. Thank you, Arthur. Brennan. Thank you, Puppy Master. Appreciate that. Thank you, Jake. Thanks, everybody, for watching. I'm the big man on campus, and appreciate you all tuning in today. We will wrap this show up, and maybe we'll be on Periscope a bit later. So make sure you join us for that. And as always, subscribe. Make sure also, guys, support the sponsor. You're looking for a new book, very easy. Check out my bookie. Use promo code BMOC when you open your account. Get yourself 50% on your first deposit. You can use it right away, and you can get in the game now at my bookie. Use promo code BMOC when you open your account. Thanks for checking it out and supporting the sponsors. Have a great day. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.